You are about to be locked inside the Stingray Show, and coming up on this edition, we are going to be jumping in to the super to the Southern Miss Regional, where they travel up to Tennessee to take on the Volunteers. Heath Hinton of Big Gold Nation will join us on this edition of the Stingray Show. Plus, we will touch base here in just a few minutes with Robbie Falk of 247 Sports over there from Mississippi State. Guys, we've got a lot to cover, so let's get things rocking and rolling.
Reminder, those of you on Tide 100.9, look out. You're about to feel the buzz of Stingray.
This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
I'm Heath Hopkins. I'm here in DeSoto County, Mississippi, right outside of Memphis, Tennessee.
You know, Mark, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you feel that responsibility to pay it forward and give some kid a chance coming up in the ranks, kind of like Tony did for you?
Why do you think I'm talking to Stingray tonight?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No, I mean, look, no.
Hey, Stingray, here's the deal. When you get involved with Texas, it's like getting married to a stripper. and let me explain this. It looks good. It's kind of sexy on the surface. Yeah. But then you get the baggage, you get the drama, you get all that eventually comes with it. And that's what you get with Texas, and that's what the Big 12 learned.
And Heath, any thoughts on our show moving forward?
Hey, to everyone in Tuscaloosa listening here on Tide 100.9, with the Stingray Show, if you don't like it, you better learn to love it, because it's the best show going today, baby. Woo!
And ladies and gentlemen, with all of that, we want to welcome you inside yet another edition of the Stingray Show. And hopefully all of you had a very safe and wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Heath, how was your Memorial Day yesterday?
Big time fun. Went to my sister's house. She lives out in Olive Branch, out in the Lewisburg area, for those here local in the Mid-South that know about that. But went swimming there. Had some ribs. My wife made something called pool dip. I don't know what it was, but it was awesome. Had a lot of bacon in it. I know that. But yeah, enjoyed time with the kids, swam, hung out with family, told stories, laughed, had a great time. So yeah, started off with softball practice at 8:30 in the morning. Went, did our show, went swimming, came home, watched a movie with the wife last night. So really enjoyed my downtime yesterday.
So, Heath, let's go on ahead and get to the National Day of Today, which we absolutely love doing. And, Heath, I've got to tell you the three things that are on the National Day of Today all have to do with food. All right, so here we go. It is National Brisket Day.
Okay, I'm a fan of brisket.
All right, it is also National Hamburger Day.
Oh, who's not a fan of that? Vegans.
And finally, to take it a step further, it is also National Beef Burger Day.
Wow, really stick it to the vegans and the vegetarians. What, Steven, you trying to start an uproar there?
There they are right there. National Beef Brisket Day, National Burger Day, and National Beef Burger Day.
I had beef brisket back on Friday. It was excellent. I was at Memphis Barbecue Company. Excellent stuff.
All right. So now let's get to the birthdays of today. And we've actually got two singers that have a birthday today. We are first going to go with Gladys Knight of Gladys Knight and the Pips.
All right. And make sure it's Pips and not Pimps. Everyone says the younger generation, Gladys Knight and the Pimps. Like, no, it's not Pips.
Pips.
Right.
Come on. Yeah, she is most famous for her songs of Midnight Train to Georgia, along with many others. So happy birthday to Gladys Knight.
How old is she?
She was born on this day in 1944.
So that's going to make her 80?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a mathlete.
It is also because we are in the baseball season. I wanted to bring this up because he did a song called Center Field. It is the birthday of one rock legend, John Fogerty.
I am a fan of John Fogerty. So good
Yes.
stuff, man. CCR, John Fogerty, good
Yep.
stuff.
And he was born on this day back in 1945.
Wow. So he's 79.
Yep. Okay. So Heath, getting off of music just for a second, we actually have an Olympian, an Olympic champion, Jim Thorpe, was born on this day way back in 1888, and also the creator of the James Bond movies, Ian Fleming, was born on this day.
Do you know where he got the name James Bond?
No clue on that one. I do not.
It was a bird book. Like some guy took pictures of birds, and he was thinking of a name, and he looked down and noticed that the photographer or the guy that wrote the book, either or, I can't remember, but his name was James Bond. He's like, "That's the name I want. That's the name." I'm like, "You took that from a bird book?" It's crazy. I saw that like on A&E years ago when they were talking about all the Bond films.
So I've got to ask you, who is your favorite James Bond person? Meaning the person that played actual James Bond, because my favorite one, without a doubt, is Pierce Bronson.
Well, it usually does with your age and however old you were at a certain time.
Yeah,
Um, I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Roger Moore, man. Right.
right.
But I'll say this. Roger Moore, from the ladies' standpoint, they said he smooched on more women than any of the other Bond movies,
Mhm.
which I thought was funny. Tim Burton came out with when I was like in junior high, and like Tim Burton like never got the girl. I was like, he's like terrible. So yeah, I'm a big Roger Moore fan.
Right. So Heath, I will tell you my favorite James Bond movie still to this day, and they actually made a game around it that we've talked about before.
Oh yeah,
007 GoldenEye. That is
I
still
think
my all-time favorite James Bond movie.
I'm gonna lose some street cred here. I liked GoldenEye. I just wasn't in love. Like I think I'm the only person that was not in love with that game.
Right.
Like everyone loves that game. I was like, well, it was a cool game, but I just didn't. I was big on Mario Kart. I mean,
Yes.
I played the wrestling games and Mario Kart and NCAA football. Those are basically the only three games I ever played.
Yes.
Were those three? So yeah. So I'm the odd man out on that one. I get it.
So James Bond, man, who would have thought that we would have mentioned James Bond during the Stingray show today, my friend?
So we've covered beef brisket, bird books, James Bond, video games. I mean, we talked about, you know what? We talked about Memorial Day as well, but, I know we mentioned it on the show yesterday. I want to mention it again. The passing of Bill Walton.
Yes.
He was such a great guy. You hear all these stories the past 24 hours of reporters and former coaches and athletes talking about him, and everyone has all these great stories about him. That guy loved life. He loved music. He loved his Grateful Dead. I made a post about that, but
Yeah.
just crazy. But also, I want to just give a shout out again to we celebrate all the freedoms, Stephen, for Memorial Day. And again, thank you to all the service people that serve and the ones that paid the ultimate sacrifice. I mean, we can't say it enough. We should thank them every day. We really should.
Yes. So thank you for that. So Heath, let's go on ahead and transition off of this. We've got to take a very short break here on Tide 100.9. And when we come back, we are going to be joined by Robbie Falk of 247 Sports to get his take on Mississippi State not being able to host and going on the road in the regional, and Heath Hinton of Big Gold Nation talking Southern Miss. He is up a little bit later on the Stingray show. We will be right back with Robbie Falk.
Robbie.
And for those of you that are listening on social media and watching, you can catch the rest of the Stingray Show this evening at 6 o'clock right here on Tide 100.9. You can either listen on the app or on the radio here in Tuscaloosa. And also, don't forget to check out the podcast, The Stingray Show, on Spotify.
Yeah. Also, also the podcast will be on Apple Podcasts along with Spotify. But you definitely want to check out that long list of our library because very detailed, a lot of big time guests. We got a big time guest this afternoon. You can probably figure it out. He's a WWE Hall of Famer and he's also the mayor of Knox County. So I pretty much gave it away.
Yeah.
But yeah, check that out and really enjoy them all.
And guys, we will catch you down the road on social media. We're done here for the first segment.